Welcome, students, to the third chapter, that is Humidity and Clouds. Myself, Ghazala Chavulkar. Students, in this chapter, we will try to understand the process of evaporation and humidity. So, our learning objectives for today will be introduction. Students, generally we keep talking about the weather conditions. We can identify that weather conditions are different at different places. We always experience atmospheric conditions prevailing at a place and at a given time. But these conditions are very short lived. This is what we call as a weather. Students, we experience the dampness or dryness in the air throughout the year. Yes, in this chapter we are going to study about the evaporation, that is the process of converting water into steam or water vapor. We are also going to study about the humidity in the air, that is the proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity, the types of humidity, that is the absolute humidity and the relative humidity, and also how the humidity affects the human body. Students, look at the pictures shown here. Let us discuss the weather conditions shown in this picture. Picture number 1, there is a conversation between a couple. Man, it is very sunny today. The wind has stopped blowing. I foresee sandstorm. Let's go quickly inside the house. Woman, yes, even I feel the same. Come, let's go fast. Picture number 2. Again, there is a conversation between two men. First person, buddy, it is very hot today. Second person, yes, Soham, I am literally soaked because of the sweat. Picture number 3. Children's playing. Mother, children, come fast, wear your sweaters and then play again. Children's, Mummy, please wait, let us play, please. So we can say that each picture, the weather condition is different. First picture, weather conditions tells us that it is dry and hot and the place is Rajasthan, that is Thar desert. Second picture, weather conditions tells us that it is hot and humid and the place is coastal city, that is Mumbai. Third picture, weather condition tells us that it is cold and dry and the place is Kashmir, that is Himalaya mountain. Students, generally we keep talking about the weather conditions. We can identify the weather conditions through the conversation above. We experience the dampness or dryness in the air. Now what is dampness, students, here means? Dampness means the state or a condition of being slightly wet. So, we experience the dampness or dryness in the air throughout the year. The changes occurring in the weather conditions in desert areas, coastal areas and mountainous areas is evident from the pictures. Rajasthan lies in a region with dry and hot air. There is hardly any moisture in the air. People wear loose cotton clothes. Kashmir Valley lies in a region with cold and dry air. Moisture is minimal in the air. People cover themselves with warm clothes. In Mumbai, the air is hot and humid. There, the proportion of moisture is very high in the air. In addition, if dark clouds cover the sky, the content of moisture in the air increases. Students, the words like hot, moist, cool, etc. show the condition of the air. They relate to the content of the moisture in the air. Students, what is moisture? Moisture is a major component of air which is taken into consideration while discussing the weather of any place. So, moisture in the air is invisible. For precipitation to occur in any place, presence of moisture in the air is very much important. Students, think about it. During winters, when you exhale on the glass of your mirror, what happens? If you try to do this in summer, why doesn't this happen? Answer. During winter, when we exhale warm air, there is moisture in our breath and when we exhale on the glass of the mirror, the water vapor condenses on the screen of the cold mirror. As a result, moisture appears on the surface of the mirror, as you can see in the picture. On the other hand, in summer, the temperatures are high. Therefore, when we exhale on the glass of mirror, the water vapor present in the exhaled air gets absorbed in air. Therefore, no water drops are found on the glass of mirror. You can see in the picture, students. Evaporation. Evaporation, students, here is a process of converting water into steam or water vapor. The water on the earth gets converted into water vapor due to the sun's heat. The process of evaporation depends upon the dryness, temperature, and the speed of the wind. The rate of evaporation increases if the air is dry and hot. The process of evaporation continues even if the air is dry and cold. Students, evaporation occurs very slowly in moist air. Evaporation is fast if the velocity and temperature of the air is high, and evaporation is slow if the wind blows slowly and the air is cool. There are many situations when this process of evaporation occurs in real life. Have you ever noticed them, students? If not, then here you will get to know about the different everyday examples of evaporation. First one is the ironing of clothes. The hot iron evaporates the water vapor present in the fabric of clothes, which help to iron the clothes well. Next one, cooling down of hot tea and other hot liquids. Isn't it a magic as to how a hot cup of tea or any hot liquid cools down after some time? It's all because of the evaporation. Heat loss happens as the water evaporates, resulting in the cooling down of the tea and other such beverages. Next one, drying of wet hair. Going for some urgent work. Need to dry your hair immediately. The only possible solution of drying of your hair is with the hair dryer. The water vapor of wet hair evaporates due to the heat of the hair dryer. Another example, that is preparation of common salt. Preparation of common salt is also a widespread example of the evaporation. The seawater goes under the evaporation, which results in the formation of salt crystals. Next, evaporation of nail paint remover. The acetone present in the nail paint remover takes the heat of our body and evaporates. Next one, drying of water bodies. The water from different water bodies mostly get dried up during the hot summer and gets refilled only after rain. So what do you think, students? What happened here? Well, here also it's evaporation. Let us study the factors affecting the rate of evaporation. First, dryness of the air. If the dryness of air is less, the rate of evaporation is less. On the other hand, if the dryness of the air is more, the rate of evaporation is more. Similarly, with the temperature is less, the rate of evaporation is normally less. If the temperature is more, the rate of evaporation is normally more. Next, speed of the wind. If the speed of the wind is less, that is slow, the rate of evaporation is normally slow. When the speed of the wind is more, that is fast, normally the rate of evaporation will be fast, more. If the air is dry and hot, the rate of evaporation increases. The process of evaporation continues even in dry and cold air. On the other hand, evaporation occurs very slowly in moist air. If the velocity and temperature of the air is high, then evaporation occurs rapidly. If the wind is blowing slowly and the air is cooler, then evaporation occurs slowly. Think about it, students. In which season do the clothes dry fast? Answer: the clothes dry fast in the summer season. Next, in which season do the clothes take time to dry? What could be the reason? Answer: in rainy season, because the air has a lot of water vapor on it and it cannot accommodate the water vapor created by the wet clothes. So, water remains in the clothes for a longer time. Humidity in the air. The word humidity is actually derived from the Latin word humor, which means to be moist. So, what is humidity, students? Humidity is the proportion of water vapor in the air. The dryness or dampness. Students, your dampness means slightly wet. Okay. The dryness or dampness of the air depends upon the proportion of water vapor. Students, as we know that humidity is the amount of water vapor in the air. When the humidity is high, it means that there is a lot of water vapor in the air. The air feels sticky and we sweat a lot. On the other hand, when the humidity is low, it means that there is hardly any water vapor in the air. The air feels dry and our skin and lips start cracking. Students, as you can see the picture, that air near the sea or oceans has more vapor in it. So these places are more humid than the places that are away from the sea. Students, you may be surprised by how easily humidity can be affected by the weather. When it rains, the humidity is at 100%, which is why the clouds are unable to hold any more water. When it rains, it will increase the humidity because of evaporation. The air where the rain is falling may not be completely saturated with water vapor. However, the longer it rains, the more the humidity will increase because of the air constantly drawing the water. So, rainfall also depends upon humidity. Moisture holding capacity of air. The capacity of the air to hold vapor is known as the moisture holding capacity of air. This capacity changes according to the temperature of the air. Air having lower temperatures cannot hold much moisture. As the temperature of the air increases, its capacity to hold moisture also increases. Students, your moisture is a major component of air which is invisible. Moisture is considered while discussing the weather of any place. Presence of moisture in the air is important for precipitation to occur in any place. Warmer air moisture holding capacity is comparatively more. On the other hand, cold air moisture holding capacity is comparatively low. The condition of air at a certain temperature, the moisture holding capacity of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it. This condition of the air is called saturation of the air. So, students, what is saturation of air? When a volume of air at a given temperature holds the maximum amount of water vapor, the air is said to be saturated. Students, here we have an activity. Please carry out this activity. Take a colander or a tray which is deeper in the center. Take a piece of sponge. On the flat part of the tray, make holes with the help of nails. Keep the sponge on the center of the tray or a colander. Make sure that there is no water in the sponge. Pour water on the sponge with a big spoon. Please note how many spoons of water have been poured. Students, keep pouring water with the spoon till the sponge becomes wet with water. Note what happens if you keep pouring water even after that. Now, students, based on this activity here, we have few questions. First one, what happened to the water which was poured initially? Answer, the water which was poured initially was absorbed in the sponge. Next, when you were pouring water on the sponge, what did you expect? Answer, we expected that water will trickle out from the sponge. Next, what happened when you poured more water on the sponge? Answer, the water trickled out from the sponge. Next, what conclusions can you draw from this? Answer, after a certain time the water holding capacity of the sponge come to an end, it becomes saturated. Students, when we carry out this activity, we come to a conclusion that the water holding capacity of the sponge is fulfilled. This makes it saturated. Similarly, when the proportion of moisture in the air exceeds its vapor holding capacity, precipitation in the form of rain or snow occurs on the earth. The moisture holding capacity of the air depends on its temperature. Higher the temperature, higher is the holding capacity. We have learned this, students, earlier, that as we go higher in the sky, the air becomes cooler. So as per this rule, as we go higher, the vapor capacity of the air will decrease. Before we start absolute humidity and relative humidity, let us recapitulate humidity. The proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity. Generally, the humidity of air, student, is divided into two types. That is absolute humidity and relative humidity. Absolute humidity and relative humidity are just ways of representing the moisture content in the air. Let us see them one by one. Absolute humidity. It is the amount of water vapor in 1 cubic meter of air. For example, we can measure it and express as number of grams per cubic meter of air. Generally, humidity of the air is measured in grams per cubic meter. Absolute humidity is the total mass of water vapor present in a given volume of air. It does not take temperature into consideration. Absolute humidity in the atmosphere ranges from near 0 to roughly 30 grams per cubic meter when air is saturated at 30 degrees Celsius. Formula for absolute humidity is mass of water vapor upon volume of air. The absolute humidity changes as air temperature or pressure changes. Students, here we have an example. Absolute humidity of the air near the coastal area is higher than the air in the interiors. So, the absolute humidity is higher in the equatorial regions while it reduces as we move towards the pole. The distribution of land and water on the earth and the seasons also affect the absolute humidity. Students, use your brain power. In which season is humidity generally more? Humidity is generally more in summer season. How does humidity affect the human body? Answer: when air has high moisture content, as is the case in humid weather, this sweat cannot evaporate, leaving our body hot and sticky. Next, observe how humidity affects the food materials at our home. Answer: due to humidity, the food materials at home get spoiled and are so fit to consume. Next, is there a relation between the formation of fungus and humidity? Yes. Humidity favors the growth of fungus on food items, even on wooden furnitures, wet walls and floors. Fungus is formed when the humidity in the air is more and the temperature is between 20 degrees Celsius and 30 degrees Celsius. Next, how is the early or late drying up of clothes related to humidity? The early or late drying up of clothes is related to humidity, as clothes usually take more time to dry if the level of humidity is high and a very less time if the humidity is less. In summer, the humidity is high because the temperature is high, so the air can absorb more moisture from wet clothes, thus drying them soon. So students, let us see what is relative humidity. The amount of water vapor present in air expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature is called the relative humidity. So, the change in temperature of the air leads to change in moisture holding capacity of the air. This in turn leads to change in the relative humidity of the air. For example, a reading is given here, students. You can see in the picture a reading of 100% relative humidity means that the air is totally saturated with water vapor and cannot hold any more, that is, creating the possibility of rain. In the second figure, we can see the air with a relative humidity of 52%. That means it contains a half of the water vapor it could hold at a particular temperature. So, in short, the relative humidity is the ratio of the current absolute humidity with the highest possible absolute humidity, which depends upon the current air temperature. A reading of 100% relative humidity means that the air is totally saturated with water vapor. It cannot hold any more, that is, creating a possibility to rain. This doesn't mean that the relative humidity must be 100% only in order to rain. It must be 100% where the clouds are forming. But the relative humidity near the ground could be much less also. Students, as we know that the amount of water vapor changes according to difference in temperature, similarly relative humidity also changes. High relative humidity indicates rain that is likely to occur. Thus, temperature and relative humidity is closely related to precipitation. There are two pictures given in the shown here. The first one, as we can see, because of high rainfall, high relative humidity which promotes growth of thick vegetation. In the second picture, we can see it's a desert area. So, as there is no rainfall over here, there is low relative humidity. So, students, relative humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air that can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature and same volume. The formula for relative humidity is absolute humidity upon vapor holding capacity into 100. It is expressed in percentage. Relative humidity is more in the mornings and nights, and it decreases in the afternoon. Relative humidity is more near coastal areas and less in desert areas. Students, here we have an instrument that is hygrometer, which is used to measure the amount of water vapor in air or in soil. Most instruments respond to or are calibrated to read relative humidity, that is RH, which is the amount of water relative to the maximum at a particular temperature expressed as percent. Students, as we know that absolute humidity is a measure of water vapor, that is moisture in the air regardless of temperature. It is expressed as grams of moisture per cubic meter of air, that is gram per meters cube. The maximum absolute humidity of warm air at 30 degrees Celsius is approximately 30 grams of water vapor, that is 30 grams per meter cube. The maximum absolute humidity of cold air at 0 degrees Celsius is approximately 5 grams of water vapor, that is 5 grams per meter cube. Relative humidity also measures water vapor, but relative to the temperature of the air. It is expressed as the amount of water vapor in the air as a percentage to the total amount that could be held at its current temperature. Now we have an example. Consider two containers, summer winter humidity comparison. Container 1 has a maximum volume of 30 grams of water and is half full or 50% of its capacity. Container 2 has a maximum volume of 5 grams of water and is 3/4 full or 75% of its capacity. Container 1 contains 4 times as much as water as container 2, yet actually contains lower percentage. If we now call container 1 summer and container 2 winter, we can easily differentiate absolute humidity and relative humidity. That is, warm air can hold far more moisture than cold air, meaning that the relative humidity of cold air would be far higher than warm air if the absolute humidity levels were equal. Students, let us see the factors affecting humidity on human body. When the humidity in the air is high, we may experience the following effects. First, the hair may get freezed. Next, the perspiration may not vanish quickly. Next, it may cause problems related to sleep. Next, it may trigger allergies or asthma attacks. Next, it may irritate our eyes, nose, or throat and cause other respiratory problems. When the humidity in the air is low, we can experience the following effects. The first one is the skin may become dry. Next one, throat may irritate. Next, eyes may become itchy. Next, cold, flu and various other infections may be experienced. Next, nasal congestion may occur. So all these are the effects of humidity on human body. Students, let us have a recap of what we have studied today. The words like hot, moist, cool, etc. show the condition of the air. They relate to the content of the moisture in the air. Moisture in the air is invisible, but it is the major component of air which is taken into consideration while discussing the weather of any place. We also studied about the evaporation. It is the process of converting water into steam or water vapor. We also studied humidity, that is the proportion of water vapor in the air is called its humidity. As we know that air can hold moisture in specific quantity at specific temperature only. As air cools down, its moisture holding capacity reduces. At a certain temperature, the moisture holding capacity of air becomes equal to the proportion of moisture present in it. This condition of the air is called saturation of the air. We studied about the absolute humidity, that is the amount of water vapor in 1 cubic meter of air is the absolute humidity of the air. Relative humidity, that is the amount of water vapor present in the air, can be expressed as a percentage of the amount needed for saturation at the same temperature and at the same volume. It is generally expressed in percentage. We also studied that because of high humidity and low humidity, there are lots of effects which are found on human body. When the humidity is high in the air, we experience following effects like the hair may get freezed, the perspiration may not vanish quickly, problems related to sleep, asthma problems, asthma attacks. It may irritate our eyes, nose, or throat and cause other respiratory problems. If the humidity in the air is low, we experience, like for example, the skin may become dry, throat may irritate, eyes may become itchy, cold, flu, and other various infection can be experienced. Nasal congestion may occur. Students, I hope that you liked the video. Thank you.